one thing that is very important when you do multimedia is that you make sure your story has some kind of drive. It could be a visual drive, it could be a soundscape that really just takes you from one point to the next, but there has to be some kind of drive that makes the story unfold and evolve. Afrikaner Blood is a story that started off in a kind of classical way with some nice ambient sound, some nice visuals, and then suddenly the story just takes a really dramatic turn. So you go from something that is really beautiful to something that is quite action-packed. And it raises some questions from the very beginning. Where are we? What's going on? It goes from day to night. There's a lot of hectic things going on, and just immediately catches your attention. And you want to know more, you want to see more. And then the main character, Captain Joost, introduces himself in a very powerful way, I think, very emotional way. And from that point on, it's impossible. It's kind of a point of no return for me. That's where the story really gained a lot of momentum, and I just had to watch it from there. The strengths of Half-Lives, if you look at the entire piece, it's actually quite incredible that it's a story that is carried out by one photojournalist. It's an incredible amount of work. Apart from that, it's technically beautiful. The edit is it's a long story. Maybe it could have benefited from a little more editing, a second edit, but in general it just flows from start to finish, and there are no technical issues whatsoever. The sound is great, the images are beautifully shot, and it has a lot of scenes that kind of give you a room to reflect on this very remote and interesting place. The third place is I consider the story a kind of visual poem, I think. It's about quite a serious subject, but it uses humor as its engine, I guess. And so it's very refreshing to see really creative take on an environmental story that probably, if it was covered by some regular news outlet, would be covered in a much more traditional way. This use of archival footage and combined with the beautiful visuals, the rich colors, and the contrasts between what is actually being said and what you see just really works. Apart from that, it has a length that is really suitable for a piece like that. Right when it maybe starts to lose a little bit momentum is actually where it ends. So I mainly look for stories that have strong characters. That's one thing. I always look for stories that experiment in their way of presenting the story. It can be visually, it can be sound-wise. And one really important thing is that I always look after the opening of a story. I think it's the most vital part of any documentary, because this is a very short format. We're talking about stories that are less than 20 minutes. So you really need to start them in a very, in a way that really grabs the audience's attention. Maybe we should start to talk a little bit more about what is multimedia, what is a web documentary? Does it necessarily have to have a still in it, or can it be a more can it be a piece that is only video-based? I think that's a really important discussion, especially when you look at the technology and the new cameras that are coming out. So this is still we're still in the early days of multimedia. So we should allow it, to grow and to get some more, to experiment, I guess.